Good day everyone, welcome to my second process video. I think I finally have the narration figured out, so here we go. That is a photo of my nephew and his fiance. I actually did this layout a few days ago and couldn't get the narration figured out, so now we are ready to do that. That first piece of paper is from Pebbles. It's from their basic collection and it's the powder blue mini dot. That second background piece of paper is also from Pebbles. That is from the Jen Hadfield DIY Home collection, and it is the Buffalo check piece of paper. I'm going to use that powder blue mini dot paper as a large mat where everything will pretty much be located on it. I'm looking at using a journaling card, and I was thinking about this Bella Boulevard card, but decided it was way too small for the space that I want to use that powder blue piece of paper for. So it had a cute little heart that you could punch out, and I pulled that out. That card is actually from the Tiny Tots collection, the paper pieces piece of the Tiny Tots collection. I will go back to that little heart in just a little bit. Then I pulled the Bella Boulevard 4x6 card, and that one is from the Family Forever collection. It's from the Candid Cards collection. And then I was auditioning a couple of pieces for the actual journaling card, that first little tag, and the card I eventually chose are from a little yellow bicycle pack. It's quite a few years old though, so it doesn't actually have a name on it. And I'm kind of looking at some other pieces from Elle Studio, decided I didn't want to use those, but I am going to use that banner there. That banner is from the Everyday Moments collection. It's the bits and pieces part of the line. I'm looking at another little Bella Boulevard sticker here, but I'm going to eventually decide not to do that because it's black and it just doesn't, it's too dark for that navy blue, and it doesn't look right on the powder blue where I was thinking about putting it. I already have enough stuff down now. It probably could have gone like right above that little teal banner if I had hidden the little tails on the banner, but I decided not to do that. I'm also looking at perhaps another kind of journaling card. That's from Elle Studio. I don't remember the collection because I didn't use it, but it was too white. I liked the little navy edge on the little yellow bicycle piece that I chose. So now I'm going to pull off a little chipboard banner. Again, that is from Bella Boulevard, and that banner is from the Chow Chip sheet of chipboard. It's from the Whatnots collection is what it is called. Still playing with an idea of, do I do something else for the journaling card? And I've pulled a book of older My Mind's Eye journaling spots. I like the idea of the circular shape, but it was too small and it didn't look right on this page. The other thing that I didn't like about it is it was cream colored where everything else on the page is white. Now I'll mix white and cream, but at this point I was going for a more sort of clear, bright layout, and the cream just didn't work. I like to use Bella Boulevard when I'm doing things that are clear, bright colors or primaries because they have wonderful collections that go with all of those things. So I've put that My Mind's Eye journaling spot to the side, and I won't come back to it. I was just touching some My Mind's Eye tiny word stickers there, trying to figure out if maybe I wanted to use those. And I've come back to that heart again, trying to figure out where I'm going to put that, put those word stickers down. And I pulled up a sheet, another sheet of Bella Boulevard stickers. This little sticker says, I love you the mostest, and it's from their snapshot collection. One of the cool things about that is that was the absolute last piece on that sticker sheet. So I've used that up. I've come back now and I'm looking at another sheet of Bella Boulevard chipboard there. That's the Chow Chip Sophisticates collection. It's an older collection of chipboard, and I'm going to use that. I like the aqua or teal of that because Megan's shirt here has quite a bit of that aqua teal turquoise color in it. And then it picks back up on the little banner from Elle Studio that's also teal there. So it's just sort of a nice way to bring that all out. The other thing I like about that little heart collection up there at the top is it gives you a really nice diagonal from the upper left down across the journaling spot and those two banners to the bottom right where that Bella Boulevard sticker is. Now I'm going to live dangerously, and I've kind of marked where I want to cut the powder blue piece of paper, and I'm going to take everything over to my paper trimmer that just sits to my right there, and I'm going to trim all of that off. And I did it, and I didn't destroy anything. That's always a little scary, but it actually worked this time. So I'm grabbing my little ATG. You get to see my little head in the top of my glasses there. And I'm going to just glue down the side of that just a little bit so that at least the background piece of paper is anchored there. And now kind of fooling around with that a little bit, trying to figure out placement. It's amazing how many times you fool around with placement when you're doing these scrapbook videos and you don't actually think about it until you actually see yourself doing the video, how many times you actually move things around. I always find that really interesting. So I started to commit to things, and I decided to glue down that photo of Sebastian and Megan because that at least will get me to start placing the other pieces there. That idea of the diagonal that I was just talking about before I went and trimmed the paper came from a Heidi Swap class that I took called A Year to Remember at Big Picture Classes. That was probably, oh my gosh, probably almost, actually I think it was 9 years ago. Yeah, because I think it was 2007, 9 years ago. And she, at the time, did a lot of things on diagonal. And I like it because it helps you just read across the entire layout. Because at least in English-speaking countries and a lot of other countries, we read left to right. So your eye just naturally follows that progression. So that's why that works, in case anybody wants to know the reason behind that. So I'm gluing down a little bit more, committing to some more pieces in the layout, which is a good thing. The photograph here is from their engagement session. I did 2 of them, one in April and then this one in May. There is a little story behind this, and that's why I'm going to journal on the page. I didn't journal on a lot of the pages because there's really not much of a story. They're their engagement pictures. But in this case, we were taking photos at a park that Sebastian and his brother used to play at a lot when they were little. And so that's why I wanted to do this. And just, I'll interrupt that for a second. I'm actually putting ATG on that chipboard. Most of us know as scrapbookers that chipboard just does not hold glue for very long, or forever anyway. You come back to your layouts in a couple of years and there's pieces at the bottom of your sheet protector. Hopefully there's not people at the bottom of your sheet protector. There's pieces at the bottom of your sheet protector. So I find that it helps if I just add the extra glue right then. I mean, when I look at like my older pieces of Bella Boulevard chipboard that I haven't used, that glue is completely dried up. And I live in a climate that's actually has a pretty good amount of humidity. For those of you who live in the Southwest, I can't imagine. It must dry up right away. So now I'm going to use some foam tape to pop that heart up so that it doesn't bend or get crinkled once it's in the page protector. And that is a huge roll of Scotch foam tape. It was probably double that size when I first bought it. And I think it's about 2 years old right now. And I think I'm only about halfway through it, which I think is pretty impressive. And I don't know, maybe I'll have another year to go on that. It's not inexpensive. I think it's about $28 on Amazon. I just looked for it again just to make sure it was out there. But when you think about the fact that The small rolls are probably $4 or $5 a roll. It's really cost effective to do this. So I'm just putting that up on the foam tape. Again, making sure I get lots of pieces in there. Even like if I pop up a photo, which I'll do from time to time, I usually end up with a lot of tape or whatever it is backing behind the photo, because I personally don't like it when things collapse in the middle when I come back to scrapbook pages. That's my thing though. If it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you. I'm kind of like, you know, you do what works for you, and that's part of what this hobby is all about. It's part of why I do it. I do it to document my photographs and stories, but really I do it for me just because it's the way I relax and I love the art piece as well. But the side benefit is that I'm documenting family stories, which is pretty cool. Getting that last little piece under that heart because it needed a little spot there. And now I'm going to deal with that sticker. The sticker actually was a speech bubble, and I'm just not a huge fan of speech bubbles unless somebody's actually speaking. And in this particular case, no one is. So I cut the tail off. So I'll either cut the tails off or I'll hide them under things depending on where I'm placing those stickers. The one thing hard is, of course, it's round. So getting that round is a little bit tough. And now I'm going to go back to that Scotch foam tape again, and I'll take care of that. The ending or more of this story about this photo is that Sebastian and his fiance were humoring me. I wanted them to take a picture of them on the slides on the playground equipment, but what ended up happening is it was really crowded. I didn't think about this, that it was a Saturday. So basically we went and we took that picture. And to interrupt my little story again there, I'm just cutting off the side of that heart there. And I really like the way that looks. And I also just figured out that I hadn't really glued down that big photo and the mat for everything. So I've got to put some ATG on that. So anyway, I figured that we weren't really going to get many pictures taken, so I just, at the playground anyway, so I just took this one picture basically, or maybe a couple of really quick snaps, and they really look like they're humoring me. So I sort of just, you know, snapped it and we moved on quickly. And I do love the picture because they're just being nice to their old Aunt Kelly in that particular case. I've gone back to that sheet of My Mind's Eye tiny word stickers. It's from the Cut and Paste collection. It was kind of hard for me to find some words there because I think it's really more about little children. And now I'm using my Cutter Bee. I think it's Cutter Bee or Caterpillar tweezers. I'm a massage therapist, so I don't have any fingernails at all. And when I have something to do like this, where it's really small, I almost always have to use that tweezers. There's just no way for me to get it on the page otherwise. Just kind of checking things out. I'm thinking I need at least one more sticker on the page, but having a hard time finding a word. I think the word at the top is love, and then I believe I find the word sweetest for the little bottom cluster there with the Bella Boulevard sticker. That time I managed to do it without the tweezers and get it on there. So I just kind of joined that because it was hanging out there all by itself and everything else is grouped in twos. And that really, again, enforces the diagonal line because you have a sticker at the top with the hearts, and then you have a sticker at the bottom with that little Bella Boulevard circular embellishment sticker. Just again, just another trick to lead your eye through your page. If you just keep reinforcing those points, because design-wise, that's what you want to do. You want to lead your eye through the page. And usually you want your photo included somehow in that diagonal. Now, mine's off to the side a little bit because you come across it and it's, you know, it's the most different piece on that page, your eye is naturally going to go to that anyway. But I'm almost done here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.